Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome back. Special welcome to our super fan of the week this week, Alan Aldridge on Twitter, one of my personal favorites. Also want to give a quick shout out to the trend Matt Taven, just because we're big fans of him, and I've become a much bigger fan of him recently, and just feel like throwing that out there. Also to our producer Madison, who doesn't get enough shout outs, and we have a lot to get into. Got a tweet from Rosemary, which is kind of interesting and kind of pissed me off. I'm Jay, for anyone new, here with Gary, the Horror King.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, I gave him the nickname, the Horror King, without realizing that Vincent had the same exact nickname, but things happen. And I'm pretty sure
I know,
Gary...
I didn't notice that until, I don't know, what the hell? I was like, oh, it's like VKM or something like that, or I don't know.
Shit happens, and I'm pretty sure Gary watches a lot more scary movies than he does. And if he ever wants to join,
a lot more freakier than I do. So,
if he ever wants to join the show and give a little whatever horror off, but also Gary has given me some bad horror movie suggestions lately, and might be losing that nickname. So we shall see how that goes. All right, let's start off with some ratings. Gary, you got those?
Yeah, we placed it number 137 this week, and we kept the same demo, but we dropped only 7,000 viewers, which isn't bad at all, really, because if you look back to June of this year, we nearly have around this, or is it? No, let's see. 107. No, actually, I was right. June 16th and the 23rd, we were actually around the same amount, and we actually had a higher demo back then. And me and Jay were talking about this before we went to air. We more or less were saying it's kind of just hogwash kind of stuff, because it doesn't make any sense, because we're 1 week we're this, and then next week we're way down. We're not even placing or something. It's just, it's a dated system. I just wish we could, get a hold of how to get it to make it look a little bit more by the numbers,
Yeah, and also, my thing is they own the company. Anthem owns, the network. There's nothing to worry about unless they drop down to 30,000 viewers, which is never going to happen. Has anyone ever looked at anything else on that channel? Nothing gets views.
That's why I laugh about people bash Impact for getting 120, 30,000, and then you get New Japan and sometimes doesn't even get half that.
No, they didn't what's the word? What did you just rank this week? Yeah, so I'm not even sure what their ratings are right now, because
New Japan didn't rank.
Yeah, no, because they're not in the top 150 or whatever. So
yeah, and then MLW, that's on Voice, or was on Voice, and they never placed in the top 150. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not knocking them, just pointing out facts. I mean, a lot of MLW fans talk about how great that is, but I've never seen MLW ratings. Literally, I think I've never seen. But whatever. So had a weird Rosemary
Esther
situation.
was even mentioning that. He goes, "How come we don't hear about them MLW fans?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he's another smart one. Big fan, huge fan, and part of our secret Discord, which nobody is invited to. Sorry. Okay, so let me get into this Rosemary thing quick. So last week, I tweeted. Let me pull up the picture here. I tweeted what the hell is the word? A comment from Hobbs Horror, who was last week's fan of the week and one of our favorites. And he said, "Question for you guys: why are they not pushing Rosemary more? She seems to pop." And I wrote, "Great question that I ask myself every day."
He's a smart fan too. He's not, just run of the mill, a casual or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned this to him when he's like, "Oh man, maybe I'm not watching closely enough." He was just he took it jokingly. I took it. He's not a psycho like me that sees something like this and just goes for "Oh God, why?" Because let me just first off, if anyone listens to me, you can go back to any episode. I probably waste an extra 5 minutes every show on Rosemary, because to me she's the greatest character, or should have been the greatest character. She's a one-time champion, one-time world champion. But whatever, before we get to that. Okay, so that was the question. Why is it not pushing Rosemary more? She seems to pop. Rosemary quoted it with, "We literally possess the Impact Knockout World Tag Team Champions with Taya, so we think this is where the humans say, tell us you don't watch the show without telling us you don't watch the show." Which is basically, go F yourself. And as an Impact fan, I mean, that was like a kick in the balls from my favorite wrestler, who I'm not gonna lie, like I can't think like if somebody like I think they can't be my favorite wrestler. Like I'm a human. Like people say don't.
Quit everyone.
Sorry, take it, Gary. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's like my favorite wrestler. Like God, like it hurt more than like some random motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand like where the dissension is with the question, because it's like we said before we went to air, we're trying to do what's best for us as a fan too. We always want our favorite wrestler to be in the spotlight, and I just don't know how you can. I mean, I can see maybe from an injury standpoint, maybe she's not well yet. Maybe she wants to stay kind of like maybe less active, but my problem with it is you want nothing but the best for her. You want her to have the title, and I totally get that. And it's just kind of tough to be in, to know what to say to a wrestler that you want the best for, because their mindset sometimes, I swear, sometimes they're not on the same page as us, and I get that too.
No, yeah, totally agree.
I don't know. I don't understand where you wanting her to have the world. I don't see what the problem is. I mean,
yeah, I mean, anyone listening, I'd love to know like your thoughts. Like, do you think it's bad wanting your favorite wrestler to be pushed like even more than they are? Like, I'm not like the tag team titles are great. That's like a good thing, but she's been there 7 years and she's a one-time champion. And just for quick comparison, Tasha's been there 2 years and is has the same titles as them. I think she has an extra tag title. Well, no, Tasha, I love Tasha, so go.
And to be fair, the tag team wrestling is kind of dying out when you look back to the old days up north, when you had such great tag teams like British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, the Rougeos, the Killer Bees. You had all these great tag teams, and it's like now it kind of feels like the tag team is kind of like transitioning into makeshift kind of tag teams for me. I don't know if you're getting that feeling, and I kind of feel like sometimes, I mean, not with Taya and Rosemary so much, but like outside of them, who is their competition really? I mean, because they stand out pretty much over everybody that's on the tag team, and Impact especially.
Well, I mean, I totally agree with everything you said, but I do think they're like building their Knockouts tag division, and it's getting pretty strong. I mean, if they get a few more teams, like they have two really, really good teams right now that are facing off at Emergence now. Chelsea and Deanna against Rosemary and Taya, and like those.
I hope that's a sign of things to come. By the way, I'm not against tag team. I love tag team.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I think they're setting like a nice thing here where they're gonna try and do that. So like, I totally get that. All I wanted, and I'm pretty sure Hobbs and whoever else, like we would have liked, we want the world for Rosemary. Like I want to see her on every goddamn poster, everything. Like I want her to be the Undertaker. That's all.
I'd sign her to a $5 million contract for all the crowd she gets into these matches.
Exactly, man. The crowd, we talked about it like last week. Like there was I don't think she was even in the match, and people were chanting for her. Maybe she like walked by or something, but like whatever.
Well, I'd even have her go more cinematic than they already do. I'd have her like much darker, like maybe have a really, really dark Rosemary.
And you mentioned on our first attempt before my audio went bad that she could have been like a digital media champion and did some cool shit with the the undead with that maybe.
Anything, or like kind of like if she is rehearsing like an injury or whatever, she might be a person you'd want in your corner to be the difference as well. I mean, if she can't really physically go for the world title, I totally get that too. But if there's an issue, that should be addressed. I mean, she don't have to tell us, but they go on social media, say, I'm not feeling the best, or Yeah.
I mean, I totally get just looking at the question alone. If it was like from anyone, and maybe she's not really looking into it, and she's just looking at the words fast, and I'm like, I'm a tag champion, asshole. I'm getting pushed. But what we think, a lot of she has like crazy fans. The Hive. Like I'm pretty sure like all those, a lot of people probably want a lot more for her, and that's all. The end. I'll end it there. Other than
this isn't no knock on her. We love her. We want nothing but the best for her. I just don't see it when you're sticking her in the tag team title slot, you know.
I mean, also, I just feel like, why pick on fans? Like, I'm obviously an Impact fan. It doesn't take.
We want enough. We were one of the two people out there that were always staying positive, even when there was talk of WWE buying our library.
Yeah, we're very positive. You can go back and listen to all of our shows and pretty much anything. And, one small other thing that pissed me off was Joker O'Keefe popped in from TNI, and he kind of used that as a moment to be like, hey, if you want to listen to some real fans, check us out. And that was since deleted, but dick move, bro. And that's all I'll say about that. And let's get on to the show. I don't know if we mentioned ratings.
Oh, yeah, I think
we did. Sorry, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I did, but I remembered us taping before, and I was like throwing us off.
Yeah, this is our second recording, everyone out there, so.
Yeah, our sound kind of went haywire.
I deleted all of my goddamn notes, so this kind of sucks for me. I had this whole thing written down, and I thought I did good, but this should be quicker. And
I think Sammy Callahan might have been in our booth.
Somebody hacked me. I mean, people are messing with me from all angles. I didn't think they could get into my phone, but now they have that ability. So let's go into the MVP. This week it is, spoiler, main event was awesome. That's why he's the MVP.
You are the MVP.
And he won the MVP.
You there?
Sorry, I was actually just pulling a picture. I was pulling a picture of him up like that one, we're on video. Like we're on video. Alex Shelley, everyone, one of the Motor City Machine Guns, who has probably every tag team title in the history of the universe, and now he gets his chance finally at the world title, which you told me he's never had one. I believe.
I believe that was what was reported. I had seen somebody say that. It kind of makes up for all the times like Impact never kind of pulled the switch on things in the past, like. Just like with Christopher Daniels never getting the world title shot, and he got that very shot in Ring of Honor. This is very much in the same vein as what Impact's doing with Alex Shelley. Only thing is, I don't see Alex Shelley pulling off the win over Josh, the Walking Weapon Alexander. So
my worry is he loses and heads to new/fake/stupid Ring of Honor. And
yeah, that could happen.
Sorry, that could definitely happen. That's no offense to like the real Ring of Honor that used to be a thing, and Mike Bennett and Matt Taven I still count as like a part of, because they're a tag team from Ring of Honor and it makes sense. And like you were saying earlier about the tag teams, I think they're one of like the last few, Bennett and Taven.
Yeah, well, what makes them so special too is that the Kingdom was a big thing in the Ring of Honor, because at one point they had the dude that's an AEW now, Adam Cole, and he was part of the.
I didn't know that.
The Kingdom, and he, they were over like Rover in Ring of Honor, and I don't know, with them being here, we need to get them under a contract. Or I'm afraid, if we don't, they're going to be, especially now that Triple H is back in charge in a sense, because it was announced today that Vince McMahon officially retired from professional wrestling.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't caught that, but
and I think I'm gonna have to give you a 5-minute timeout for mentioning WWE news.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, kind of a huge thing we probably should have mentioned earlier. Vince McMahon friggin' retired, which is insane. And of course, D-Bag Tony Khan had to put a tweet out. Hey, I'm the most fucking longest reigning CEO in pro wrestling. Fuck you, dude. Jesus, shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. Let the guy have his.
They've been calling him on Asylum Coke Tony.
Oh, totally, Jesus. But okay, so I keep forgetting things because we're going all around. But okay, we have a $300 giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe on any of our new, at any of the new podcast places we're at, which is pretty much, we're available basically almost everywhere you can listen to podcasts. You can go to the Podbean link on our profile, or you can just search for Discuss Impact Wrestling anywhere, and we should pop up first. Make sure to put the discuss part there. And that's it for that. And I believe it's just time for the show now.
Did you want to mention before we head to the show what 411 give this week's show, or did we say that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. 411 gave it a 7.9, and 7.9 equals good. And then the first sentence is, this was a great episode of Impact. So I messaged them like, why you guys got to be so confusing? It can't be good or great. You got to pick one. So for this week's episode, I am going to call it good/great, like 411 did. Until they change their shit, I'm going to do it because I don't know if it was good or great. And if a site like that is allowed to do it, then I feel I should be allowed to do it. So I'll say, no, actually, I don't think it was great. Sorry, I'll say it was good.
Yeah, I would definitely say solid. I'd put it somewhere in that 7.988 range, but not nothing that impacts not done better before, but there's been worse episodes. Very much during the Grado era. Like, I mean, I could really think that was a terrible era.
I think we're kind of getting to whatever the hell the word is, because like there's nothing bad anymore. Like even like the worst parts, like I don't know what the hell would be the worst part of the show. I guess like I personally didn't love the X Division match, but I mean, like it was totally watchable and solid,
it was serviceable by far.
And
Joe Doring, just Joe Doring keeping it clean cut, not really clean, but like keeping it fair for Diener throughout. Very typical of a match where one's more athletic, whereas one's more about being that heel. It's kind of crazy. That's kind of the way this match was. It's very typical of a kind of a one-sided contest. You got the outside interference and anything and everything out there being a part of the match, kind of keeping it even.
Yeah, like you said before, probably the best way you can use Diener is to have the big dude doing everything possible to keep him in there, so Bailey doesn't kind of beat him in 3 minutes or whatever.
I noticed during that match too, Diener had people in the front row, like down by the ramp off to the left side as you're coming down the ramp. He had them rolling. I don't know what the hell he said. I don't know if he was gonna kick Bailey in the crotch area, but I don't know. He did something, and then the guys in the front were just like dying. Just was funny seeing it on TV.
Yeah, I think we mentioned last week, how great he's been doing with his character, and I don't think people are giving him credit for that. I've seen the opposite actually, where people are like shitting on him and saying like he doesn't deserve to be in these kind of matches and stuff. And
well, he's nearly 40 years old. I did look that up too, so he's been in the wrestling business for quite a while, and he's kind of getting to that, where that cutoff line where some people consider not lacing up the boots anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see like 10 more years of him, but
no, but
totally
I guess he's like under. Did they say he's like under a 2 or 3 year contract, or he's got 4 years left?
I'm not sure. I think it was kind of last year maybe, so I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. But hey, I'm a Diener guy, so
yeah, me too.
Solid match, I say there. Even though
I like the Dieners, I honestly did. I like.
Oh they were. Yeah, what's his name? Joe. I mean, Jake was awesome. Not sure where he is. Maybe Dark. Who the hell knows? But backstage stuff. Not sure if I. Shit, I missed that one. No, we missed the opening match. Sorry, let's get back to the opening match before we forget.
With BXT and Grace and Yem.
Yeah. So BXT got the win over.
Or Vexed, I guess they're referred to, not BXT. I guess they're called Vexed.
Okay. So Vexed got the win. The champion did not take the loss, which I liked. Chelsea and Diana are a pretty awesome tag team, and
they won with the move called the Dew Collector.
Okay, nice. Missed that one again. 411 gave that one a, what was that, 1, 2, 3.5 stars. So nice job there.
Oh, did they give it that high?
Yeah, they gave pretty much every one on this.
I wonder if that opening match might have been why we started getting a lot of tweets and stuff on Twitter Sports and Twitter. Sometimes the pacing of a show can make all the difference, on activity on there.
I love them opening with something like this because they usually don't open with the knockouts, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised at how hotly contested it was. I mean, like,
just so
Mia Yim's getting to be probably my favorite wrestler on the women's side.
She's like one of those just incredibly underrated wrestlers. And Mia and Jordan's team is fantastic, but Jordan's champ, so they didn't need this here.
Yeah, it's almost like you forget that she was the champion because they didn't they talked about it, but I was like, I don't know if I would have. I mean, I like the tag team pairing. I don't know if I would have put the tag or the women's champion in that spot. I think I would have maybe paired her with somebody different, just because you kind of you're kind of resting Jordan for like a single, like a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, and they got so many knockouts. I'm sure there's somebody back there we're probably forgetting about that could have slid in here, but it was Jordan. And I mean, hey, if you want a great match, you stick Jordan there.
So. Oh, that's totally. But I just like to see her.
No, I'm with you.
Because it kind of like you don't see enough of her once you go tag team.
I'm with you. Plus, giving Mia someone that isn't the champion would make her more of like a credible tag team.
True. Yeah.
Unless they want to give Jordan 2 championships, which maybe. So there was an Honor No More promo that I really liked. It had some notes that said something like, our boy, the Trend, started it off, and I loved it. The guys was like, he's so good on the mic, and he looks so confident right now. Like, I didn't see that, like, back in Ring of Honor. Like, I kind of saw, like, a guy who was out of his, over his head. Is that fair?
Very. I think a lot of reason why he's kind of come into his own is because of, kind of having to step up his game a little bit because they did have a lot of interaction with a lot of New Japan talent. I know he did a lot of traveling overseas to Japan. Wasn't he in the main event too with Jay White at MSG, ROH's biggest show at that point in their history until obviously down south took him over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize. I mean, ROH was doing like ridiculous, like incredibly well, like just a few years ago before AEW kind of used them and abused them. But whatever, it is what it is, and kind of hate what it is now. But I do love these ROH guys and and Impact, and I hope they stick around. At least some of them, Yeah,
they're perfect in Impact, especially with our roster kind of thinning out a little bit, and I just wish we could get them some more competition a little more often in these weeks because I kind of, like you said, you kind of feel like it's always 5-on-5.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's going to be some people coming back, like Swan, who we haven't really seen.
Yeah,
I think he just had a baby, but I could be wrong about that.
See, that's why I miss Willie Mack because he is an all-purpose wrestler. You could have him, he could be a world title contender. He could be tag team. That digital media. I would have liked a Brian Myers versus Willie Mack matchup.
Oh yeah, Willie Mack was perfect. He was just one of those, like one of those tools, like a utility tool.
Yeah, I would have given him what he wanted, honestly, because I think the man's just too damn talented to just be, going super indie or whatever he's doing right now.
Also, him and Swan were also a good tag team.
Oh,
and it could always be a big tag team.
They called them the Soldiers, right?
I forget, but they were very good, and I really liked them, and I don't think they really got like they didn't get enough of a push. They could have used, that's all they ever needed. All they ever needed was a push. They could have been solid tag team champs, but they weren't, so Madison, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that backstage thing, so the rest of the Honor No More crew kind of got the mics there, and man, I thought that was right, but it felt like WWE-ish. I hate when everyone gets to speak. Like, I would have left it at just Eddie, the beautiful Maria, and our boy, the Trent.
Yeah, I think it gets to be kind of feels like the old Survivor Series when everybody had to get their piece in, and
it's a very
kind of like a little bit disorganized and kind of.
It also reminds me of cheesy TV shows where like everyone finishes sentences. I'm like, come on, that doesn't happen in life.
Yeah, it's like you're waiting for the Taskmaster to come busting through the wall or something.
All right, so more knockouts action here. Well, not much action. Masha destroys Madison, basically, with Giselle there. And then stared down Giselle next, which is interesting. I guess she's going to kill her next. So she's just taking out that whole faction.
Yeah, Masha's was a brainbuster, her finishing move. That I think that might be one of the best finishers in all of Impact right now. It just looks like really stiff, like kind of like Austin Aries when he used to do it.
Yep, just going to say that. So it's on my line, so keep going.
Yeah, it's just I just see similarities in like their predatory way of attacking their opponent. Very,
also smaller.
Huh?
Also smaller types.
Yeah, she's definitely undersized because there's a lot of other women on the roster that are much taller and way more. Like Rosemary's taller, and Taya's like real. She's bigger than some guys. Taya.
Sometimes things don't hit me until 20 minutes later. But in case you missed it earlier, I told Gary in the past to hit a button if I was talking too long. So that's what that noise was. Gary, you want to try it again just to show everyone?
We're trying to find it here for you.
So here I am, just blabbering and it's something I kind of do. And we had an idea where
You're boring everybody. Quit boring everyone.
so that's gonna pop up whenever Gary thinks I'm being too boring. And I love it because I feel like
I to go with the flow, and I will when I can find it.
I feel like nobody else would have done that to me, and I really loved it when you hit it before. So, all right, we mentioned the world title match. That was awesome. I mean, well, I guess we could talk about it more. How awesome it was.
Did we mention about Havoc and how it's backstage with all that stuff?
We can jump back to that after the main event, which I called a championship match, but it wasn't. It was a number one contender match with Shelley and Sabin, who obviously know each other extremely well. Just got 4.5 stars from 411. See, like, I totally get why they would rate it higher than, like, I would, because they're, like, the wrestling types, and I'm more of the complete show types, and I think this is a wrestling-heavy show, which...
Yeah, I think this show, I think that was probably a lot of your problem is it didn't really have awful lot of promos or very much in-ring things or at all. And see, I'm more of a wrestling type, but even still, there was something lacking. Maybe it was the pacing of the show for me. I felt at times the crowd could have been a little better. I'm not saying they were awful, but I don't think they were as good as the Atlanta crowd.
I'm just going to say, I think Atlanta kind of...
Atlanta's my favorite place. It might not have been everybody's cup of tea on TV, but
well, let me just say, screw that to anyone who complained about Atlanta. I don't know what the hell you were watching or looking at. I loved it sounded so loud. That was the loudest I've heard it in a long time.
Well, I got to say, if Anthem is going to put on the old brakes from going on the road, and we want to make a place our home venue, that's Atlanta so far.
Yeah, definitely Atlanta. And speaking of backstage stuff, we missed Brian Myers with Bhupinder, who, again, it's hard to get into him, to be honest. It's kind of hard to, like, make out everything.
Kind of like a Shira 1.0. Kind of like just has that nicer side to him than Shira. Less lion, I guess you could say.
Like, I'm curious if Indian fans are fans of him just because he's Indian, and I hope that's not
I like
racist.
His look. I just don't like. I don't know. He's not very good.
I hope that's not a racist question, but I'm really curious about things like that because, like, I know they have, like, big things in India, but, like, I'm really curious, like, if these fans are they fans of Shira or are they fans of Impact? You know what I mean?
Well, one Indian wrestler back. I'm not going to say the name, but way up north was it Muhammad Hassan?
Oh yeah, he was
good on the mic. No, I know he's a school teacher now. He's from my area.
That guy was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, and he was great on the mic. I just wish things could have worked out for him because I think he had a future in wrestling.
That's all it was. Really, it was just like wrong place, wrong time. Friggin', they did that. What? Like he was a terrorist. Like right after then 9/11 happened or something.
Yeah, and then it didn't help when you had him attacking like that wrestler Eugene, and he's kind of like played this. Like wrestler.
Mentally challenged. And then pretty much everything he did with him was bad. But yeah, he was probably one of the best. Also, Rohit. Speaking of Indian wrestlers.
Oh yeah, I miss him. We need him
again. Probably lost in the dark. I think you mentioned the Killer Kelly promo already, or maybe that was on
Gary Rossetti said it was very Bates Motel. I kind of see that too, but I also kind of see it kind of like Twin Peak-ish because, like I said, they play this like kind of like this low dimmed kind of music, and it's kind of like saxophone and kind of being sultry, kind of like the comment, like they're commenting too, and like they're kind of giving like a little bit of a, like she's talking and saying these like seductive things, and it's like that it's just kind of like David Lynch, like the way they go with it. And I don't know, just you'd have to see some of David Lynch's things to know what I mean. But if you're a fan of his and you're listening, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we probably do, and I bet you a lot of them do because we seem to have a lot of horror fans thanks to you and our weird community of horror/wrestling fan groups. And let's see, what else did we miss? Well, I think we missed just the Taven and Bennett versus Bullet
should we
Club.
get to the Havoc and Taya thing, or is that
Sure. Take it.
Oh, well, I kind of missed this. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I know I'm a great fan. I missed it, but I thought it was going to commercial, and it was said that when it panned on Havoc, what did you say? The character, her name was
Oh, Jessica.
Jessica, and somebody had said it reminded them very much of Taya Valkyrie. So I don't know if this is like a twisted version of Taya Valkyrie they're trying to play up here.
Well, Taya died, correct? On Impact in the past, in the
yeah. See, that's what I mean. I don't know what's going on because I mean, like you'd have to kind of go back and remember all of that, and that's sometimes that she was here last. What? How long ago? They said like years ago.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking. Well, this is just my crazy stoned brain, but I'm thinking that her soul was still trapped there, even though she returned by herself.
Oh, okay.
So now maybe the soul is inside of Jessica Havoc.
Yeah, well, Robles was saying something about that too, and I was like, he's kind of like thinking this a lot more than I am, and
oh yeah, he has some great ideas.
It's like, my God, it's like he's kind of right. I didn't even really think about it. Now he's like trying to say each wrestler might be somebody else in the future. So
yeah, he's very interesting, incredibly interesting ideas that sometimes I'm like, holy shit, that would be incredible. And like, I swear, he's like, some of them, I'm like, Jesus, I want to send this like to your creative because that would be genius. Okay.
Did we mentioned about Swan?
Yeah.
Oh, we did. We mentioned. Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if we had done that.
Yeah, it's hard. We did like 3 shows here, everyone. So apologies.
Yeah, we had to redo it not too long ago.
Yeah, so we're not sure. We know we're saying the same things twice, but we're not sure if we're saying them 3 times or whatever we should. So yeah, this was Bennett and Taven they got the win, correct?
Oh no, Bullet.
Oh, that's right.
Bullet Club did because Taven or Maria tried to interfere during the match because I think Ace Austin was. I think he was going to go for a move or what? Maybe it was Chris Bay who was going to go for a move. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Heath jumped the rail.
Yeah, Stone Cold Heath.
Yeah, Stone Cold or Sting Heath, whatever you want to call him. He jumped the rail and he distracted. I can't remember who he distracted, but he did distract one of the 2 Honor No More participants, and it cost them the match because what they do Ace Austin hit the fold, I believe, on Bennett, or it was on Taven. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was on Bennett because Bennett kind of like didn't really. I don't think he knew what he was going for. It's kind of like it was kind of one of the worst Ace Austin folds I've seen him do.
Oh,
but I kind of chalked it up because he didn't know what was coming.
Yeah.
Kind of like ring chemistry, if you will.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they probably haven't been in the ring much together, those 2.
Yeah, I kind of felt like he went a little, like, kind of stood up a little too high, so he couldn't get the full effect of it.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about 411 gave this a 3 stars, so every show in this match got at least 3 stars if you're into that kind of thing, which seems like a good thing. Sorry, what the hell were we just talking about? Sorry. I wanted to mention how much I'm enjoying this Heath. If half of me is like, well, it's Heath, does he deserve this? And the other half is like, wow, this is awesome. It's like a badass version of Heath that, like if you take away like forgetting who he is and like he was like kind of like a joke guy.
Yeah, he's kind of becoming Macklin like a little bit too, because like Macklin has been
like a badass. Yeah,
it's kind of funny seeing Heath, because he's always had this career of being the jobber.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
By the old Hall of Famer, or being beaten up by the Divas or whatever, and then like all of a sudden he's just like getting one-upsmanship on each and every member. Like, what did he hit Vincent one week, and then he hit one of the members of the Kingdom this week. And didn't he do something to Kenny King too? Like last week?
I think he's taking out everyone.
Because Kenny was bitching about it on the backstage. He goes, "You might have did that once, but let's see you do that, this week." And then he hit him right when like they said, they seem to Heath always has Honor No More's number.
Yeah, I like it. It's surprising for the Heath character. Like even just seeing it still, it's like, oh shit, look at Heath being a badass. It's kind of awesome.
I just think it would be a lot, but like if it was in front of a much bigger crowd, though, I think
oh yeah,
a better reaction. Like I think some people, it happens so fast, I don't even think they know who did it at first. You know.
Yeah. Also, maybe give him like a little Stone Cold kind of, the glass shattering before he comes out and kicks someone's ass, just to make it a little more memorable and like you know who it is instead of But yeah, that's just about everything. Other than I think we missed Kushida, and there was a Macklin segment with Sammy, which was cool.
With Moose, yeah, they were going to beat him down, and they knocked him to the ground, and then he hit his cell phone, and then it went dark, and then he was gone.
Yeah, the Moose Macklin thing I'm liking.
Yeah, it's interesting if they're gonna find Sammy a partner. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing what was the guy?
Chris?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a Chris brother.
No, I was actually looking at the roster page yesterday for something, and Madman Fulton is still on there, but he's gone, right?
Yeah, the last I had heard, he had, was making a film, so I don't know if this has something to do with this Gravitas Ventures thing that they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe he will be back. That would be nice. I always liked him. Didn't think he got like a good enough try there.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Murder Hawk. That's who he reminds me of.
Yeah, I remember. I can't think of who it was now, but they had someone similar at the time, and I'm like, this would like. And I was thinking like he would work so much better if this other guy wasn't here, but whoever it was is no longer there, so I think he would definitely work better now. And what the hell was this? The Swan thing, which we mentioned, and okay, no, I don't think we did mention this because you mentioned it last time. So go ahead with the Swan thing and Kushida.
Oh yeah, Swan approaches Scott D'Amore and Josh Alexander, and he's going to Scott. And he's like, Scott, I never officially got my rematch from Kenny Omega. And Scott tells him, well, I'm sorry, Rich, but we got a match planned for Emergence. I think it's August 12th, right?
Yeah.
August 12th or 13th. And
double check us.
Yeah. But on that day, and our card's filled. And he said, but I can do you one better. We're going to have you in a match with Kushida. And that made Rich, I think, because all the notoriety with that match alone would, most wrestlers would love it, and it made I think it more or less made it sound like if he could beat Kushida, then he'd probably,
like then you'll get a shot.
Yeah, or some be in the mix, kind of like be in the kind of like in the conversation, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm sorry, no, I like Kushida, but I just sorry, totally got randomly confused with the other match, which is Ray Horace versus.
Oh, and Bandito that was announced.
Oh yeah, I thought that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a blast, but kind of random.
Yeah. Did we get to the match with Sabin and?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, should also be mentioned too that Kushida come running to the ring to help his former partner, Alex Shelley, because somebody came. Who came to the ring?
What they called it, Time Splitters or something?
Yeah, they were called the Time Splitters. Somebody came to the ring. Was it Joe Doring or what? I can't remember. Was it somebody came to the ring to attack the guys in the ring, and then. It was shown on Twitter. There was a thing that didn't actually make the episode where Josh was going to go help Shelley and Sabin, and when he went to Shira and Raj Singh were in his way, and they started fighting. He shoved Raj Singh down, and then Shira and Josh actually got into a scuffle.
Gotcha.
And he couldn't get to the ring. And I think they're going to play it up like Shelley might say to him, like, why didn't you come to the ring to help me? Or, you know what I mean? Like, because it looked like he didn't try to help when he kind of like what Randy Savage would do back in the day with Hulk Hogan. Like, why didn't you come down and help me, brother?
Yeah.
And he, he obviously tried to, but he couldn't. He was, being detained by something else,
I mean, I like that too because it also goes to New Japan, that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing where it's like, you can tell someone, or like if you're like a wrestling fan like me, I don't know much about the time split, but like seeing them on Impact now and knowing they're together, it's like maybe I'll check, look at some old matches or whatever.
Well, that's the thing. Like people will bash Impact and stuff and say they, oh, they're small time and stuff. But I've never seen a promotion be so really good with promoting. They're promoting the Ric Flair stuff. They plug New Japan like crazy before they go off. They make sure they take time to put over all of wrestling, and I don't see too many other companies doing that.
No, it's something they've been adding like even more of slowly, just like more and more shit, and I don't know, it's kind of like an AEW thing to me. Like, I mean, shit in a good way. Like, throw a ton of shit out there.
Yeah, and they showed this week's flashback with Ric Flair and Sting.
Oh yeah, and that was like sponsored by the Ric Flair match, right?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan showed him coming to the ring and handing him the brass knuckles to hit Sting with it.
Oh yeah, that's right, man.
Sting owned back in those days. Sting owned Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan like every match. It seemed like.
Oh, this Stinger. Got to give him props. Still killing it in AEW.
Oh yeah. Out of those three guys, he's pretty much the only one that really stayed super healthy. You know what I mean? Like outside of like not having any issues to keep him out of the ring or.
Well, he did get to spend like 2 years just chilling on a rafter, not wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that does make a difference.
And guess what? That's when he was the most over. He didn't do shit. He just stood up on a rafter. Like, there's so many little things in wrestling that I wish they would do. Like, I don't know, like be more creative, like things like that. Like the man did nothing. He sat up on a goddamn rafter for like a year, and we loved it.
And now he currently gets snowed on down south. How they get snow down south is beyond me. I don't know how they, get it into their venue.
Yeah, well, speaking of snow, it's about 100 here, so gonna have to cut it off, and we'll get back to you all next week. And again, subscribe to all these new places, getting the whole money thing and whatever else. We ain't stopping. We are Discuss Impact. You can discuss.
Be sure to pop in here every week, each and every week here on YouTube and Podbean and wherever we're available.
Yeah, we do. Just because we're named Discuss Impact doesn't mean you can't discuss Impact anywhere. It's just a thing we want people to do. That's originally why I came up with the name like 8 years ago, whenever I started this shit, and then went to some other shit. And now I'm with Gary, who's cool, and there's no longer shit, so it's nice. And that's about it from us. I do have one little message for Rosemary as we head out.
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
And that's it for us. We'll see you next time.
Catch you later, everybody.